Hey guys, how's it going? Jam here, and welcome to the Singapore Grand Prix during Season 1 of RGL. We qualified P5 on the grid, and it looks like we've had a pretty good start. So we're looking to go up into P4 almost immediately. We're trying to hold him on the outside of Turn 1, but I can't quite do that, as the Williams ahead has a bit of a bad line. But we can dart to the outside for Turn 4? 3? 3, I think. Whatever turn that is. But, we do manage to make it stick on the Force India, but we was having a look up the inside of the Williams for turn 4, but unfortunately the safety car, or the virtual safety car, has come out, so that put paid to that. And as the safety car ends, I made rather a rookie error there. I was expecting them to be going a lot quicker as the safety or virtual safety car ended, and I just sort of was I put my foot down, hoping that they were going to be doing the same thing, and they didn't, so I ran into the back of them. And Singapore is not a place where you want to be running around with half a front wing. So even though it's only lap 1, I decided I've got to come in. So yeah, unfortunately that's not exactly the best start to the race after a quite good start to the race, really. I wasn't the only person to come into the pits though, so it looks like we at least got some company as we drive around about a pit stop down on the rest of the field. And it looks like the Toro Rosso in front of us has come out on the soft compound tyre, whereas as you can see I'm on the red striped super softs, so that should mean that we have the pace over the Toro Rosso, at very least in this early stage of this stint. So we're going to have to try and, hopefully going to have a look and try at trying to get past him sooner rather than later. Not quite close enough into this first corner though. He's had a bad exit. We was going to look up the inside, but I get a warning for that collision, but it kind of looked like, from my view, that he just sort of brake checked me. Obviously I was looking for that inside line because it didn't look like he had a very good line, and now he just sort of pulls over and lets us past. So, I mean, judge for yourselves what happened there. I wasn't particularly best pleased with it, especially as he just let me past a few corners later. I don't know if that was because of the incident, or that was what he was trying to do when the first incident. I don't know, but yeah, that's now 2 laps and a second front wing change, because as I said, I do not want to be driving around Singapore with a broken front wing. And as I come into the pits, I managed to damage it even further. Unfortunately, it doesn't really matter as I've come in anyway to change the front wing. But yeah, 2 laps in and I've had 2 pit stops with 2 wing changes and spent over 20 seconds completely stationary in the pit box. So we come out on lap 3. We're even we're about a pit stop behind the Toro Rosso that we passed earlier this lap, and we're going to be like 2 pit stops behind everybody else in the field. So it might only be lap 3, but my race is basically over at this point. All I've got to try and do is just finish and hope that less than 10 other people finish, so I might be able to pick up a point or 2 that way. Come on to lap 8 now, and you can see that my teammate pitted at the start of this lap, and that is because it is raining, and it is definitely the changeover point. I got rather lucky in that accident there. I was very nearly going all the way around and losing a huge amount of time. As it was, I managed to clip both walls and just damage my front wing again, but at least I'm still pointing in the right direction. In these very tricky conditions, I just got a bit of oversteer from the previous corner and managed to clip the inside wall as you kink right before that left-hand hairpin. So now, with a broken front wing in wet conditions on dry tyres, I just need to make it back to the pits and get on to some inters that will hopefully provide a bit more grip. Going under the bridge now, we're not going to make that corner, and we run into the Fly Emirates boarding there, and that's the 3rd time in this race that we've lost half a front wing. So as we're coming into the pits anyway for a set of intermediate tyres, we're going to be changing it once again. Good job that Manor brought lots of spares to this race, otherwise I'd be completely screwed. We almost don't make it into the pits there, running wide, nearly ended up back on the racetrack, but we do manage to get into the pits, and we can now fly down and put on those intermediate tyres along with a fresh wing. And I'll say it again, like at this point, I just want to finish the race. If I can finish the race with less than 10 other people, I'll get a point, and that is literally my only hope. We coming out of the pits now, keeping it to the left or to the pit exit line. and immediately these tyres do just feel better in the wet. You can probably tell the difference around just that one corner. On to lap 13 now, and we haven't seen any other actual cars, but at least we've caught up with a ghosted one, and because I've got literally nothing else to race for, I figured I might as well put on a proper overtake rather than just driving through him, just because really. I'm not going to be overtaking anyone else in this race, so I might as well make a proper pass on a ghosted car. It might have costed me, what, a tenth difference, maybe two, but in the scheme of this race, that really isn't going to matter. Lap 15 now, going around the old where the old Singapore sling chicane used to be, but now it's just a bit of a different section, and there's yellow flags ahead as we go into the corner where I've crashed twice in this race already. It looks like somebody else has as well. There's a Mercedes on the outside, so we do actually manage to gain a position. It's only taken 15 laps. But no, on the end of lap 15 now, presumably for the same incident, I don't really know, the safety car has been deployed. So I've got one hell of a lifeline here. I've made 3 pit stops in this race already. Is it 3 pit stops? I don't even know. I've made quite a few pit stops in this race already. Yeah, I think it's 3 pit stops. But Jeff's wanted me to come in for the full wet tyres, which is interesting because we know that it is going to be going back to light rain soon, because he told us that earlier as well. So we're not going to be paying attention to that. But the next lap, under safety car, we are going to be making another pit stop. But not going on to the wet tyres as Jeff suggested. We're going to be staying on another set of intermediate tyres. My thinking for this was, like, providing we do actually manage to catch up with the pack of cars, we should now have a tyre advantage over them. So if we do manage to catch up, we might actually be in a half-decent position for the race. Yeah, I don't know if I can say that with any confidence at this point, considering that is now 4 pit stops I've made, and I still haven't seen another car. But yeah, we jump from lap 17 coming out the pits onto lap 19 now, as we once again go through this this section of the track where the yellow flags came out, and it pops up that the safety car is coming in this lap. And as we go around this hairpin that has given me so much trouble in this race already, we can't even see anyone in the distance, so it doesn't look like that we're going to be catching up to the pack, which is rather a shame, because I thought we could. So even though we've been given a lifeline... Oh, hang on. Oh, hang on. Is that a car in the distance? We're in the last sector, on the last lap of the safety car being out, and we've finally, just about, caught up with the rest of the pack. Hello, boys. Long time no see. How's this going to go then? Right, we've finally got some more cars to play with in this Singapore Grand Prix. And it's quite nice to be seeing another car. So I've just been hot lapping for the last 15 laps. Or last 19 laps, really. First one to negotiate is a ghosted McLaren. We're going to hopefully make light work of that. Not giving him as much room as we gave the Red Bull earlier on in the race when we passed him while he was ghosted. But we do dispatch of him pretty quickly. And now we've got to try and chase down the next car up the road, which is one of the Toro Rossos. We jump to a lap later though, before we've managed to close up by any significant amount. And going around turn 4, there's yellow flags ahead, and it looks like there's been an incident. We managed to gain, or just about gain, a position off of that Haas, having to shoot off the racing line there, otherwise we would have just ran straight into the back of him. But, I mean, given how this race has gone, I don't care how I'm making them up. If I'm making up a position, I'm quite happy about it. Getting really rather close to the Toro Rosso in front, and there's a Ferrari and Williams ahead of us as well. This is almost a 4-car battle for position at this point in the race, so could get quite interesting. Coming up to this section of the track that we seem to have got driven around so many times. I mean, we've driven it around at the same amount of times as any other corner, but this seems to be shown in the video quite a bit, so I know what I mean. Leave me alone. Coming around this corner now, we've jinked to the right, try and get a sort of cut-back line and maybe a better exit, but it hasn't worked. I've run wide and ran into the wall. But we are sat in the slipstream down this sort of fairly sizable straight thing. But we'll have a look up the inside, but nothing's going to happen there. And they're going too wide ahead of us. I think the Williams has managed to go around the outside of the Ferrari there. Got a very impressive manoeuvre indeed. The Ferrari is going back at him. Toro Rosso goes very defensive, and I think he actually touches the back of the Ferrari there. and with his killed momentum, I managed to dart up the inside and actually get past him through actually came, which is a very unusual overtaking spot. But as I say, I've had such a rubbish race so far. I will take any position, any which way I can at this point. So I'm very happy to be moving up the field. And now the Williams seems to have pulled a little bit of a gap already on the Ferrari. And as we cut to lap 22, he's pulled quite a bit of a gap on the Ferrari. So I want to be joining him. I want to get past his Ferrari and see if I can keep the pace for that Williams, because he's definitely absolutely bolted at this point of the race. Coming into the hairpin, and once again we're going to be trying this sort of cutback line, but I got further alongside than I realised and got squeezed to the outside, and once again I tapped that outside wall on the run down to the straight, and had a really compromised run, and now got to defend from the Toro Rosso. I thought I positioned my car pretty well there, but he darts down the inside, making a little bit of contact as we go. Still side by side as we come out the corner. Ran the left hand kink towards the chicane where I caught him last time. There's contact and I've run into the wall and I've locked all my tyres and I've got a puncture, and now I'm doing a 360 and I've nearly done another 360 on the track. And now I've just got to limp back to the pits because I've got a puncture. I mean, at least I didn't DNF there, but I was given a lifeline in this race and it looks like it's just been taken away again. Because yeah, I'm going to be losing a hell of a lot of time. I can't even do over about 80 miles an hour looking at the speedo there. I mean, it's not exactly a fast track anyway, but F1 cars should be doing more than 80. I think I hit 81 mile an hour there just as I was sort of limping back into the pits. Probably my cleanest pit entry, but also probably my slowest. So now, I think this is my 5th pit stop in this race. I don't think I've ever done quite so many pit stops in a single race. But we've taken a gamble by putting on the ultra soft tyres, and as we do exit the pits, DRS has been enabled. So, I mean, I'm saying that quite excitedly as if I'm getting my hopes up, but I lost so much time with that puncture and incident and the puncture and limping back to the pits. At least I'm on the right tyre at the right time, but Anyway, we come round to finish our outlap, and as we come down towards turn 1, we can actually see some more cars. We're actually overtaking some of them. I don't know how this happened, but we've actually managed to make the undercut work. The guys that stayed out must have been so slow on the intermediate tyres once the track dried out, because I lost so much time with that puncture and I still managed to undercut the Toro Rosso and the Ferrari, and I think we're up into P4 with literally nothing else happened for the rest of that stint. I had the pace over the guys behind, but I couldn't catch the guys in front, so I've finished P4. How the hell did that happen? You can see there, confirmation. I think it was the Williams that we saw earlier fighting away with the Ferrari that ended up winning the race. Mercedes came out in front of us for the last stint, finished second ahead of my teammate, and then I just missed out on the podium after 5 stops. I've made 2 stops in the first 2 laps and I still finished. I don't know how that happened, but anyway, I'll take my 12 points and I will run with them. Thank you very much for watching these highlights, and I'll see you soon for the next one. Goodbye.